So I just split A into two little pieces. I'm going to call this one A1 and this one A2. Actually, I'll do it the other way. This one's A1 and this one's A2. So those are the two pieces that make up this side length A on the bottom. Okay. This is a height. And then we have A, B, and C as all of our angles and side lengths. So we know 4 facts from this picture. The whole side A is A1 plus A2. You guys good with that? We also know from the Pythagorean Theorem that this is going to seem weird, but B squared, so B is that side length on the left, is A1 squared plus H squared, right? Let me try to write that a little bit more neatly. We also have similarly that C squared is A2 squared plus H squared. So that's just the Pythagorean theorem. You guys see that? And if we have cosine of angle C right here, it's opposite, it's adjacent over hypotenuse. So the cosine of angle C would be the adjacent, which is A1, over the hypotenuse, which is B. Do you guys agree that all those facts are true? So we have the first one is true because those two little sides are splitting up the bottom side A. The middle two are true because of the Pythagorean theorem. And the last one is true because it's a trigonometric ratio. Cosine of an angle equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Now watch, this is the best part about pre-calculus, is we basically, the rest of this year, we're just going to manipulate stuff to make it work for us. And it's almost always with algebra and substitutions. So for this first one, I could also say then that A sub 2 is A minus A1, right? If I just subtract A1 to the other side, it leaves me with A sub 2 by itself. Do you guys agree with that? I just did a little bit of algebra manipulation so that I can substitute it in. Now, what we also have is that A sub 1 right here, if I multiply both sides by B, I have A sub 1 equals B times cosine of C. Do you guys agree with that?
Wait, I don't get that one.
So
okay, sorry. I was looking at the equation above, not the bottom one. I focus on the wrong thing.
I can see that. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to substitute these values into our equation here. Okay, so I'm going to take this one right here, and we're basically just going to start manipulating it. We're just going to start playing with it. So if I take C squared equals A sub 2 squared plus H squared, and I plug in this in the place of A sub 2, this is what we're going to get. C squared equals A minus A1 squared plus H squared. Are you guys good with what I just did? Okay, so how do what do I do next? You guys might remember something like this from last year. No, we don't need to solve for H. We're going to leave it for a minute. Yeah, we're going to FOIL. So multiplying this out is not too bad, especially because it's a difference. So we're going to have c squared equals a squared minus 2 times a1 plus a1 squared. And then that h squared comes down. So I just FOILed it. You guys remember FOILing? If you don't, we can do reviews. Yes. Sometimes I like saying what you guys type in the chat out loud, which can be really comical when they are typos. That one I don't think was a typo, but like I had a student last year. What did she say? Oh, she used to try to type dang, but she'd be so mad that she got something wrong that she said DNAG. So that was what we always say when we got frustrated in our class. So just be careful what you put in the chat box because it might become a vocal sound. All right, so now we're going to do a little bit of craziness here, guys. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute this in the place of A1. Are you guys ready for that? So I'm going to plug that in right here. And I'm going to get rid of that line so that we have that space. So I have c squared equals a squared minus 2 times a times b times cosine of c. No, it wasn't Maya. She was in that class. So do you see what I just did? We just took out a1 and we put in b times cosine c. And then I'm going to leave the rest of it a1 squared plus h squared. This is going to be so fun. What we're just about to do. This is going to clean up and be so beautiful. Because guys, I left that a1 squared plus h squared, but what does that equal? Look up at our other facts. It equals b squared. So I'm going to take that out and put b squared in its place. So I have c squared equals a squared minus 2ab cosine c plus b squared. And if we just reorganize it to kind of put the squared stuff first, this is the law of cosines. That's it. This is how we created a right angle in there so that we could use our trigonometric ratios. And this formula will let you find a side or angle of a triangle if there's not a right angle in it already.